Hello, my name is Monica Left. I'm the Spanish teacher for the 8th graders. I'm from Mexico and I'm from the state of Chihuahua. So the Spanish that we're going to learn it is Spanish not from Spain, but it's Latin American Spanish. You can get my information from the PowerPoint that I submitted, but you can get in touch with me. And my school email address is amlefridge@phh.org. I have office hours on Monday. They were moved from Friday to Monday to 3:30 to 4:30. I also had provided here information about the app Remind. If you haven't downloaded this app on your phone, it's a great way to communicate. So you can reach me either by email at amlethbridge@pha.org, or if you have the Remind app, I will provide you with the code depending on your child's section. If they are in A, AB, AC, or AB, I will provide you with those codes later on in the presentation. I also included the Spanish Google Classroom codes if you want to join in to the Google Classroom to make sure that your son or daughter is completing the assignments or what assignments you have there or quizzes. Also, there is the Remind code for office hours as well, and the Meet link that I'm going to use so I can help your student if he needs extra help with Spanish. I also included the Duolingo code. This is a very important code that your son or daughter needs so they can practice their Spanish in Duolingo. There's on-demand work that they need to do at least 15 to 20 minutes every day or every other day so they can complete a journal in Google Classroom, but they need first to do the Duolingo practice to be able to do the Duolingo on-demand assignment. So a little about myself, like I said, I am from Mexico, from Chihuahua. I grew up in the border area on both sides on the U.S. and Mexico, so I'm bilingual, fully bilingual. And the Spanish that your son or daughter are learning is not Spanish from Spain, but the course that we are learning is the history of Spanish. So we're going to learn the history of Spain and the cultures that were in Spain before the Spanish language became the official language. So we're learning the history of the Spanish language. We're also learning about not just the culture, but the art, the music, the costumes, celebrations, famous people, diversity in the culture within the culture in Spain. So the different influences became about to create what we know Spanish now. So the influence from the Moors, the Middle Eastern people in Spain, the Romans, the different ethnic groups, the Germans and the Celtics within Spain. So it is going to be a very interesting way of learning Spanish. So it's not just learning the language, but learning about the history and the people and the culture. The content. Like I said, it's a fun way to learn. We have different mediums now to use in class. So we have a lot of games, but there's a text that I'm going to be using. It's called Realidades, and I have it right here. There's a text, and there's a workbook. And actually, after I was able to link the online book and the workbook, and I provide this to the students. So we're going to be working on that, not only with the textbook, but also, like I said, we have other technology available right now that we can utilize to gain those skills needed for Spanish. So what skills is the student going to be able to acquire during this course? Well, your daughter or son, or your scholar, is going to be able to understand Spanish when he or she or your scholar is going to hear it either on TV, around town, on the radio, on podcasts, on the computer, or on YouTube. And it's going to be able to understand it, read it, write it, speak Spanish, have a conversation at the end of this course, not just in class, but around the community and when they go abroad or go around the world. So it's a life skill, not just for school in class, but it's a skill that's going to carry the scholar throughout their life. How am I going to show the measure of progress from the scholar's work. Well, we have major assessments and effective effort. So the major assessments are quizzes. They're going to be taking place every so often in class to test the skills. We also have tests at the end of units. If they don't have tests and we're going to have a big project, they will substitute those tests. We also have the effective effort. Those are what the students are preparing class if they participate in the Nearpod lesson plans on live sessions. Also the demand work. That means if they're participating in practicing their Spanish and Duolingo. If they're completing their assignments on demand, practicing on student pace. So if they are submitting their assignments, if they are answering in the chat, or they are participating in class, answering in the lesson plans online. Those are effective effort points and grade that the student accumulates. So I'm not giving the grade. Your student is earning the grade by participating in class and submitting their work. If the student doesn't participate and submit work, it is very hard for me to assess if what progress your scholar is doing. So it's very important. Participation, come to class, completing every single part of the Nearpod and live sessions, and submitting their work on demand, their journals, and practicing their Spanish and Duolingo. Also, we have the STAR skills this school year, and I pledge to build a close relationship with every single one of my students so that they know their needs. So I will support in class to be the best student that they can be. If they're struggling, I will be supportive. I will get in touch with you. I will be in touch with my students. I will refer them to the proper person if needed. How I will support if they're struggling with Spanish. Well, I have office hours, or the office hours that I had was on Fridays from 2:30 to 4:30. But it was a little bit of conflict there. I think students rather have office hours another day except on Fridays. So my office hours from now on are going to be on Mondays from 3:30 to 4:30. And I will reach out to the students during class to support them, maybe to do the assignments during class. And also I provide notes in Google Classrooms, and they are under the folder Notes with Spanish. So all the notes, all the Google Classroom, Power School information is there. My PowerPoints, my notes, everything that I use in class are available for all my students. Even if they have needs, even if they're struggling, they're always available for them to take a look at the notes and be ready for quizzes, for able to do their practice for a quiz, practice for a test, or for a project. The objectives for Spanish class, there are 4 points. Students will be able to learn Spanish to communicate with others in class, in the community, and around the world. Students will be able to find commonalities and practice using Spanish in different mediums like Google Classroom, Nearpod, Flipgrid, Padlet, and Mentimeter, and Duolingo. Students will be able to demonstrate responsibility for their learning as they follow directions for their participation on Nearpod online classes and on-demand work at student pace. 4. Students will be able to demonstrate respect and cooperation as they see what they have in common with their classmates in Spanish cultures around the Spanish or Latin American countries. Expectations for remote instruction. We have 4 questions. So question 1. What should students be doing during remote lessons? Well, students need to be interacting in the Nearpod, on the lesson, the Nearpod or PowerPoint, whatever the teacher is using as a medium for a lesson plan. Students need to be interacting. So if the lesson plan says time to share, they need to be typing and sharing the work. If it's fill in the blank, they should be filling in the blank on the Nearpod. If it's you need to say this in Spanish and record yourself, they need to be doing it. So the participation, interaction in the Nearpod is a must. What should you as a parent should be seeing or hearing in a remote class? Well, as a parent in a remote learning, you should be hearing the teacher covering the content. So you should be hearing me speak for 15, maybe 20 minutes. And while the student is listening and you can hear me speak, the student should be either speaking, answering back to me, or typing. And you should be seeing in the screen the Nearpod or my PowerPoint. What should students be doing during work time to support the progress in class? So this is on-demand work for the students. So the students in Spanish should be practicing Duolingo 15 to 20 minutes in Duolingo, practicing the Spanish. And then, when they're done with their practice in Duolingo, they should be doing their journal in Google Classroom for at least 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't take more than that. So at least they should be working for Spanish to master the skills needed for Spanish at least 40 to 60 minutes. So if you want to know if your student is doing the work, you need to go to Google Classroom and check the assignments. Everything's labeled. Journal, and their number, Duolingo practice, or quizzes. You can click on that. If it's graded, you will see a grade of 15 points. If it's not turned in, it's going to say miss assignment. If it's not turned in at all, it's going to say, if I grade it, it's going to say 0. It's not been submitted. If it's submitted, it's going to be a 15 point. So checking Google Classroom, it is important. Checking the calendar and making sure that your scholar is checking their email, staying in touch with your teachers. You as a parent, you're welcome to email me or get in touch with me, texting me and email, and I will be in touch with you, not just to let you know how great your student is doing, but also how much your student is progressing. But if you have any other question about the Spanish class, reach out, talk to me if you haven't heard from me. But I'm pretty sure that you're going to hear from me pretty soon. And I hope the information I provide you about the Spanish class is helpful. But, any other questions, let me know. And I'm here to help you and help your scholars to do the best they can. Thank you.